This is a true story of Kίκι Καμαρένα. Kiki was a sheep among wolves. He was an undercover DEA agent who was kidnapped and tortured, and he was taped by Mexican drug cartels under the blessings of the Mexican government. This is when we learned how violent and corrupt Mexico had become.
They're gonna get you. They're gonna take control and they're gonna scare you. They'll probably hurt you.
These kidnappers are well-trained, well-armed, and ruthless.
But there are elite operators trained to combat this threat.
We're defenders of the weak. We take the hunters and make them the hunted.
There's a reason people sleep peacefully in their beds at night, because we stand ready to do violence on their behalf.
It's a dangerous world. It's a dangerous game. And you have to be prepared to pay the ultimate price.
If I say I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna be there, all right?
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You only take me to lunch to apologize.
Can a guy just take his wife out to lunch?
Who's this guy we're talking about?
Chinese place. See you at 2.
I'll bring a book.
I love you.
¿Cómo lo vamos a conocer?
Él, el camino como rata. Mira, ahí está.
¿Qué onda, brothers? ¿Qué pasó?
Mira, el comandante te quiere ver.
¿Ah, sí?
Sí.
Let me just radio the office. Hey! Hey, tranquilo, cabrón. All right, let's wait.
Three or 4 months before Kiki was kidnapped, it was pretty hectic. Things had occurred that made us aware of the danger. As far as knowing what Kiki was doing, it was our own agreement that the less that I knew was better. But as a wife, we can read our husband's eyes and feelings, and so I knew that it was getting worse and worse. I did hear him say, someone is going to get hurt, and I don't want it to be me. And I knew, when I heard him say that, I knew. I just knew that it was going to be him, and hoped that maybe we could get out before it happened.
Back in 1985, the DA had an office of about 5 agents in Guadalajara. They were there to recruit informants to identify the movements of the drug shipments out of Mexico to the U.S. At that juncture, he was very much involved in the seizure of the largest amount of marijuana ever seized in the history of drug enforcement, the Buffalo raids in Chihuahua.
Today, jointly announced the seizure and destruction of a huge marijuana field in Zacatecas. Estimates put the street value of the seized drugs at $2.5 billion U.S.
$2.5 billion.
We didn't really know what had happened to Kίκι Καμαρένα the day he walked out of the consulate and disappeared. Months later, I found an informant. He was a Mexican cop, a bodyguard to drug cartel members, a sicario, a hitman. This Mexican cop himself participated in the kidnapping of Agent Camarena. He was there when Kiki was interrogated, and he provided us with all the details of how he was taken and delivered to drug lords.
Entonces lo que se trataba ahí era de rodear el consulado americano. Cuando Kiki cruzó la calle, llegó a la banqueta donde estábamos nosotros, fue cuando Samuel lo paró. Ernέsto Fonseka era un narcotraficante que se pudo decir en esos tiempos era el más poderoso de la República Mexicana. O tenía bajo control a todo el gobierno y tenía control de toda la droga que se pasaba por Estados Unidos. Básicamente nuestro trabajo con él era guardaespaldas.
Working with the cop informant gave me very mixed feelings. But as they say, conspiracies hatched in hell do not have angels as witnesses.
Te voy a ser sincero, todos esos trabajos para nosotros eran normales. Yo me sentía como cualquier otro día.
Y llegó el paquete, hermanos.
Apure.
Eso.
Look, guys, I think you made a mistake. If I could just talk to the man in charge. Cállate, güey.
Pásalo para acá.
Espérate.
I waited and waited and waited, nothing. By that time, I had waited long enough that I was hungry, so I decided to go ahead and order. I ate, which I had never, ever done without waiting for him. I ate, and there was no way that he could get a hold of me. So I left the restaurant. I went home. I took my oldest son to get a haircut, came back, and then loaded up the other two and went to the park. The whole time that we were at the haircut, the whole time that we were at the park, he was being tortured.
Thank you for joining us today, Agent Camarena.
Situation: DEA agent missing in Mexico. Suspects: Mexican drug cartels. Time missing: 8 hours. Current whereabouts: unknown.
Estuvo amarrado con las manos atrás y vendado, sin camisa. Digo, pues es que quítame la venda y si vamos hablando. Yo lo que tú quieras saber yo te lo digo. Ya estoy aquí con ustedes. Ya me tienes aquí. Vamos hablando.
These men are very familiar with your work. Estos señores solo quieren que les digas lo que tú sabes de ellos. Déjame te ayudo. Tell them what they want, and I will help you get home.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Este tipo es como una piedra en mi zapato. Están metiendo en mis negocios, en nuestros negocios. Los gringos nos quieren sangrar. Le quitan la comida de la boca a mis hijos. Alguien muy cercano está hablando con ellos. Alguien que conocemos.
Es un oficial del gobierno americano.
Es un hombre. Y los hombres hablan cuando sangran.
Tell me about Fonseka.
What about him?
Tell me what you know. Who works with him?
I don't know how I can help you, but I will try.
Give me their names.
I only know of two.
Mm-hmm.
One is a lawyer named Sendejas, and the other is a guy named Samuel.
Agua. You see? You give me answers, and I help you.
¿Es que le va a dar una cerveza? ¿Le va a llevar una vieja o qué este cabrón?
Por eso trajimos al comandante de la Ciudad de México, por esa razón. Él sabe lo que está haciendo, déjalo que haga su trabajo.
When Kiki was kidnapped, I had already been in Guadalajara about 3 years. I was the agent in charge of the office there. The traffickers lived and operated in Guadalajara with impunity. Nobody bothered them. It was their city. They owned businesses, hotels, restaurants. They all had some sort of an official credential issued by either the federal government or the state government. They made threats. They knew we were there, and we knew they didn't like us. I left the consulate that afternoon to go look at a huge house that one of the major traffickers was building. We found it, took pictures of it, came back through the consulate. Kiki's automobile was still there, but one of the secretaries told me that he had gone to meet his wife for lunch. I felt perhaps he had just had an extended lunch. At the end of the day, his vehicle was still there.
Who told you about Quintero's operation?
What do you mean?
Who was your informant?
I only know him as Juan Garcia.
What else?
Nothing. Nothing else.
Who is he? What does Juan Garcia do?
He's an informant.
Mira, cabrón! That is nothing. They really want to hurt you. Te quieres morir, cabrón.
No, güey.
Tengo mi familia, mi esposa, mis hijos.
Chingao. Chingao.
I always extended my leg to feel if he was there, in case I didn't hear him come in. It was just a habit of mine, just to feel that he was there. That night, I did not do that, and that night, I did not wake up all night.
Vamos a platicar de la gente que trabaja contigo, Kiki. ¿Quiénes son?
Somos muchos.
¿Cómo se llaman?
Pues mira, yo creo mucho en el destino. Desgraciadamente, el destino lo llevó a ser policía. Y no todos cuando andamos en esas corporaciones salimos con vida.
¿Te ves cansado, Kiki? Would like to rest?
Yes, sir.
Bueno. Why don't you give me some good information and we all go to rest a while. Okay?
But don't hit me anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Please.
We won't hit you anymore. Where does it hurt? Aquí. Ay, pues sí está cabrón, ¿eh?
Este güey está cabrón. No va a rajar.
Ya veo. Pero tarde o temprano tiene que caer.
De ley.
Just give me some names. Give me some names, Kiki, and we go to rest. Kiki. Kiki Kamαρένα. Doctor. Ya se durmió este cabrón, por favor. Revívalo antes de que se nos vaya.
They were inflicting so much torture and pain that he is passing out. So when Kamαρένα Kiki would go unconscious, Dr. Mashine was injecting effort directly into the heart to get the heart going again so that they could continue to interrogate him.
Gracias, doctor. Bienvenido. Ya pasó, ya pasó. Ya. ¿Qué tanto teatro le haces, cabrón?
They threaten Kiki with death. They threaten him with torture. And in fact, a couple of places, it appears that he's actually being tortured while they are administering the interrogation. They seek information about the names of the agents in the office. They seek information. They want the names of informants in the office. They want to know what we were involved with. They cite specific instances of seizures of marijuana, cocaine, and cash that were made. They are, in general, seeking information. That's what they're after.
Tell them what they want to hear, man. everybody goes to rest.
Shaggy, it's Mika.
I said Kiki didn't come home. And then his question was, well, didn't he meet you for lunch? And then my heart just dropped.
Situation: DEA agent missing in Mexico. Suspects: Mexican drug cartel. Time missing: 22 hours. Hostage rescue status: pursuing all leads.
Kiki's only hope when being taken by the drug lords was his fellow agents stationed there in Γκουανταλαχάρα. If anybody was going to bring Kiki home alive, it would have been his fellow agents, Shaggy Wallace, Jaime Kirkendall, and the other agents that were stationed there.
He's not in the morgue.
Thank God.
At least we'd know.
Come on, man.
This is not good.
All the government people, they're corrupt, they're paid off, and there's no way that they're going to cooperate with DEA when they're told not to mess with the cartel people, because it's either you do what we say or you die.
The secretaries came to the office, made phone calls to the hospitals, the city morgue. I notified my superiors in Mexico City. I notified the consul general. Those people started the wheels moving to inform the United States government in Washington, D.C. that we had a federal agent missing in Mexico.
Now for today's top story.
When I first hear that Kiki is taken, I'm working out and the news come on, and I remember feeling very shaken, very disturbed, because it was ominous that it was going to be something very serious. By the time it came to the news, he'd been missing one day already. It was the following day after the kidnapping. And I actually feared for his life. I worried for his life.
We're wasting time.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we need to speak to the Comandante now.
We had to seek help from the Mexican authorities. Pablo Andreas was a Mexican federal judicial police agent. He was sent from Mexico City to be the supervisor, comandante of the group that was sent up to help us look for Kiki.
I understand you misplaced one of your men.
Misplaced?
Comandante, Agent Camarena has been missing for 3 days.
Are you sure he hasn't taken a vacation? There's many different ways to lose 3 days in Mexico, senor.
He's married.
Most men who go missing for 3 days are, senor. Let me see what I can do. Okay?
La verdad que se amarró bien los huevos y resistió todo.
All his ribs were broken. His jaw was broken. His nails had been pulled out. So this man was administered a severe beating, and even so, never gave up, a fellow DEA agent.
I don't know what to do, Shaggy.
Pack a bag for Kiki. Okay, pants, a shirt, some clean socks. When we find him, he's gonna need some clean clothes to wear.
I said, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. No matter how he comes back, I'm not leaving without him. And because of the tension with the investigation, I was starting to deteriorate. My children weren't allowed to go to school. They brought in military people with rifles in my house. And 2 agents would take turns. So I was never alone without an agent being there. So I knew it was really a bad situation.
Yeah, James, it's Shaggy. I'll be there in 20.
We decided we would raid the homes, offices, ranches, businesses of the major traffickers.
Mrs. Fonseka, we're with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency. We'd like to ask you a few questions about your husband.
Bueno, pues, I don't know anything about narcotics, but you can come with me.
Esperen aquí.
In a bedroom, we managed to retrieve some photographs. We had one photo. It was a picture of Kiki Kamaraena.
Kirkendall!
¿Y esto qué es?
María, tú sabes muy bien lo que es esto. Mira, María, quiero que me hagas el favor de hablar con tu esposo y decirle que las cosas se van a poner a rojo vivo si no regresan aquí Camarena en las próximas 24 horas. ¿Me entiendes?
Sí, te entiendo.
Gracias. Llámame.
I was falling apart. I can't just sit here and wait and not sleep, not eat, and they had started making phone calls at the DEA to Washington, to Mexico City, but for hours I had nothing, and for days I had nothing, and neither did they.
Yo realmente diría que fue una muerte muy cruel, la verdad. Porque cuando te agarra un narcotraficante, te hace pedazos.
Kiki Kamaraena has been missing for days, and the powerful influence of drug traffickers thought responsible has made gathering information concerning his whereabouts nearly impossible.
Turn it off. Apagala!
My mom told us, you know, something's happened to Dad. They can't find him. I'm sure we'll find him soon. But we're just going to have you guys stay here and not go to school for a little while until all this is kind of resolved. You know your mom pretty well. You can see the panic in your mom's eyes, and you can see sort of the concern in the agent's eyes. I didn't know anything about the investigation that was going on at the time. I just know when guys show up in flak jackets at your house with holding machine guns, something serious was going on.
It wasn't until about a month later that we got a message from the Mexican authorities that led us to the next tragic incident in our search for Kiki.
James.
The DEA received an anonymous note stating that the Bravo family had kidnapped and murdered Camarena and that he had been buried on the Bravo Ranch in Michoacan, Mexico. We told him, Commandant Armando Pavon Reyes, that we needed their assistance in proceeding to the ranch to try to locate Kiki Camarena's body. We, the DEA agents, were told that we would meet the following day at 8 o'clock at their office and from there proceed to Michoacan to the Bravo Ranch. At 8 o'clock the following morning when we reported there, we were told that Comandante Pavon Reyes and a large contingent of federal agents had left for the Michoacan Ranch at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Reporte.
Todos están allí, comandante.
¿Estás seguro?
Vamos a esperar a Aldea.
Somos federales, ¿para qué chingamos queremos Aldea?
I know what happened that morning now. They moved in early in the morning and attempted to take the place. At the house that morning were 5 people. A 60-plus-year-old man and his wife, his 23-year-old son, and 2 grandchildren. When the old man wouldn't acquiesce and let the federal police take the house, the federal judicial police killed him. 5 people killed. The family massacred as a cover-up.
This guy didn't stand a chance.
We later found out that, of course, that what had happened was that they had gone in there, massacred the family, and they were going to plant Kiki's body so we could find it there. But the body was not placed there because the Michoacan State Police, when they heard the shooting, proceeded there. And the persons that were bringing Camarena's body saw that there was outside law enforcement present. They couldn't deposit the body so we could find it, and so the body was taken and dumped on the side of a road.
I got a call from Washington telling me to tell Mika that Kiki's gone, but Mika already knew that. She and I cried together. I lost my friend to Kiki.
Two agents come in, tell my mom, and my mom just sat me down on the bed and said, you know, they found Dad. He's not going to come back. You know, he's dead.
He was my hero. I mean, we were sweethearts at 16. And at 18, he told me he wanted to be an agent. He said, there's 2 things I want to do after I graduate. I want to be an agent, and I want to marry you.
So I remember us, the 3 of us, my mom and Shaggy and I, walking up into this plane. You know, it's like a cave, this huge cave, and all there is, you know, the casket strapped down with an American flag draped over it, with with my dad in there. And all the while, I remember Shaggy, just whispering to us, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And also a quick reminder of, you can't open it. Don't open it. And I remember putting a hand on it and it's weird, just saying, hey Dad, hey Pops. And we walked back out, and all that other stuff was just a blur after that.
No one deserves to die the way Kiki died.
Situation: murdered DEA agent recovered in Mexico. Suspects: Mexican drug cartel. Time missing: 28 days. Hostage rescue status: pursuing all suspects.
Initially, these drug lords thought that nothing was going to become of their actions, but as soon as they realized that the wrath of God was going to come down on them, they all scattered like cockroaches.
Rafa, ese es tu problema. ¿Me oyes? Los americanos están felices. No, yo te hablo cuando llegue. No, cuidado con eso.
Órale.
No, no, no. No me importa. No me sigas, Rafa. Vámonos.
Sí, fíjate.
Y empezó ya el desmadre. No, porque nosotros también ya nos dimos cuenta. ¿Qué bronco no? Aquí se muere un policía y sin novedad. Se hace la investigación, sí, pero no la hacen tanto de pedo.
Tell the pilot to meet us. Good, jefe. Hey.
When it became apparent that the Mexican government was not cooperating, we were telling our Mexican counterparts that if we didn't find Kίκι Καμαρένα, that U.S. Marines would be sent in, that we would arrest every drug lord identifiable, and we were going to do some serious ass-kicking down there to locate our missing agent. Kiki's murder was taped so that those tapes could be played to those drug cartel members that were not present, and also to high-level Mexican government officials. It made me, I cried when I first heard it. I actually wept. I heard a man begging for his life, a man that was asking not to be tortured, but to be given the death of a cop. He was asking to be shot. I felt the desperation during his torture. He never gave up the names of the other DEA agents that were working undercover in Mexico. I happened to have been one of those undercover agents. I decided at that point to search to the end of the world to find those cowards that murdered him. When you do these type of operations, they're very secret operations. So the whole operation is conducted through undercover type people. Most of them were ex-military. They knew what they were doing, referred to as the wild geese.
No debería fumar, amigo.
Disculpa, mamita, por haberte hecho esperar.
Doctor.
After we went and arrested and killed some of these murderers, Pablo Escobar, when he's giving orders to kill the ministers and kill all cops you can, he's giving orders to kill the prosecutors and the judges before they did that big massacre in Bogota. He is actually tape recorded saying, "Kill everybody except the DEA," because those guys take it very personal. Look at what happened in Mexico on the Kiki thing. He's actually tape recorded by the CIA saying that. Rene Verdugo was incarcerated for a term of 80 years in his serving time here in the United States. Rafael Caro Quintero was given a life sentence in Mexico for drug trafficking and the murder of Kiki Kamaraina. Ernesto Fonseka Carrillo, a major drug lord, was also arrested for drug trafficking and charged with Kamaraina's murder and is doing a lifetime in Mexico. Dr. Machine was released by a federal judge within the Central District of California and was never charged with any crimes in Mexico related to drug trafficking or Kiki's murder. The main informant in the Kamaraina murder case remains within the U.S. Marshals Witness Protection Program, and his whereabouts are unknown.
Pues, ¿qué le diría? Y más a una madre, a su esposa, a sus hijos. No, porque sale sobrando lo que yo les dijera. Yo sinceramente les digo, no guarden rencor. Pasó lo que pasó. Solo Dios va a juzgar.
When everything happened and they found him and the whole world knew he was a hero, my question was, why didn't you recognize this hero before? Like I did. I was the only one that recognized him. The way he lived, the way he presented himself gave me a lot of strength and courage that I didn't know I had. And I kept thinking, if Kiki could do it, if Kiki could do it, if Kiki could do it, I can too, in another form or way.
A lot of people like